What's going on, Lambo Views? So for today's question, we're just gonna quickly just check on the car, make sure everything looks good. It's been about a week since I opened up this little storage unit here, but we did get a question on YouTube, and then so that question was, how many subscribers do you need to make $2,000 to $3,000 on YouTube? So, oh, damn! I just hit my head on the fucking garage door there. Oh well, we're good. First time doing a video in the storage room. Anyways, so yes, the question is, how many subscribers do you need? So here's the one thing about YouTube that a lot of people don't really know about, and it's the fact that it doesn't really matter how many subscribers you have. It's just kind of like more of what type of content you're pushing. So say for example, if I'm pushing content that equates a lot about finances and stuff like this video here, then that is gonna probably do pretty well compared to something where I was just doing a channel about gaming. So that's one thing you kind of have to note, is it doesn't really matter how many subscribers you have. It does matter on what kind of content you're pushing. So last time I checked, I believe I'm just gonna push up this garage door here before I hit my head on it again. The last time I checked for things like YouTube is gonna be, if you have an average YouTube channel, say if you got a gaming channel, then you're probably gonna get about $2 per 1,000 views, which kind of sucks. So that's one thing to really watch out for. So if you are gonna start doing YouTube, the thing you have to kind of plan out is about what type of content you're gonna be doing. So I personally just started this channel whenever I got the car about 6 months ago or so. So this whole thing is all still pretty brand new. That's my Civic way over there, by the way. Say hi to the Civic. It's my dream car, or it used to be. Well, still is. Channels about finances do really well. If you do it about finances, it's awesome. If you do it about things like investing and anything kind of numbers related, it does really well. Also, content like this, where we're talking about how to make money online, content like that does a whole lot. So gaming channels do about $2 to about $4 per 1,000 views, which really sucks. But if you have a finance channel, that does really well. I believe last time I checked, it'll do pretty close to $20 to $30 per 1,000 views. Now that's like night and day compared to TikTok. So that's the other thing about YouTube, is that if you want to make money on YouTube, it'll do really well compared to things like TikTok and Instagram, because you get paid more so on how long you can keep the viewer on the channel. But if you have social media such as TikTok, and if you have social media such as Instagram, then you're only gonna be keeping the viewer for not that long, probably like 2-3 seconds, which honestly is not a long time. And if a viewer is only gonna be on your channel for that amount of time, obviously that's less time for advertisers to run ads on your page or your video. So that is a reason why that YouTube and long form content does have an edge whenever you are trying to make long-term goals with it and get paid a whole lot more. So me personally speaking, I usually don't talk about finances and all that stuff about what I make on YouTube, but these days you can kind of Google it. So my other channel that I have is called Beam Review. That has 130,000 subscribers. But again, I was making 2 to 3 grand on that channel whenever I had pretty close to, say, 15 to 20,000 subscribers. Obviously, I make a whole lot more because there's more views and more subscribers and whatnot. But yes, you can make a lot on YouTube just doing proper content that could be really informational. You could do entertainment type of content, which a lot of people are doing. I will say that 2 types of content you could consider doing is going to be either things where you can teach somebody how to do something or show them how to do something. My last channel that I did was more about showing people how to use BMWs. So when you have how-to channels like that, it's easier to keep the viewer glued onto your channel. But if you have entertainment type of content, then it's harder to keep the viewer on the channel because they're only looking for that one piece of entertainment or like the punchline. So it's difficult to shoot content about entertainment. And then not only that, you also have to worry about things like AI trying to do more entertainment type of content too, which is going to be really annoying. Here's the inside of the Lambo. I'll do more videos about me just kind of showing the car rather than doing POVs and all that, if you guys actually prefer that. But yes, YouTube is great. Here's the other thing to mention about YouTube is that you make money in all different sorts of ways. So the main way that people are just known about, or know how to do, is just going to be about making money through advertisement. They don't realize that once you kind of build an audience, you can monetize that audience in so many different ways. So that's a big thing to take away from this. You can monetize all different types of things. You can sell things like courses, which do get a bad rap, but if you treat it the right way, then it honestly is the right thing to do. A lot of people think courses are a scam and all that stuff, but if you look at things like colleges, like, aren't they kind of teaching the same thing too? Just handing over information. So that's kind of one way to look at it. So no, courses are not really a scam. It is a scam if you are just taking people's money and then they're not getting any value from it. So that part's a scam. But if you are actually using courses or programs and all that stuff to help people and make their life better, then no, that's not a scam. But I will say that courses and programs, they do make a significant amount of revenue to the channel, because again, your overhead's pretty much nothing. All you really need is just a really good platform where you can share all the information, and there's plenty of out there too. That's probably my only cost whenever it comes to selling courses and all that stuff. But not just limited to courses. You can make money through sponsorships, so that's a big deal. You can make money through brand deals. You can sell accessories. You can use websites like Shopify and sell things. So making ad revenue is a big deal, but also monetizing a audience will actually get you 5 times more than just relying on ads. The thing you got to really watch out for is if you do have ad revenue as just your main source of income, then you're not really fully in control, because you're relying on somebody else or some other system to basically get you paid in one source or way. But what you want to do is you want to make sure you try and diversify your revenue streams and all that stuff. So my main channel, aside from this one, Beam Review, there's 5 different ways that I make money through that way. And here's the other big thing about making money online. So I may do a separate video on this one too, but one thing you need to consider about making money online is the fact that when you make that money online, most likely you're making it passively, which is a big deal. So a lot of people have heard passive income. What passive income is basically you make money in your sleep. You make money doing nothing. You make money from making something that you made long ago, and then it's still paying you till this day. So I personally think that if you make $1 in passive income, you're technically making almost $5 to $10 on active income. So if you go to your job, if you make 10, 20 bucks, even 50 bucks at time, depending on what you're doing, if you make 50 bucks doing things and trading your time, it's probably the equivalent of making $1 in passive income. Because the thing about passive income is that it's not necessarily the amount that you're getting through passive income, but it's the fact that you didn't have to trade your time to make that money. So when you think of it that way, it just starts to scale, because you think to yourself, okay, well, if I made this $1 without doing anything, then what if I actually did something and use that time to make more money doing something else? So that's the real way to kind of really go about looking at passive income, because it honestly is a gold mine. Once you kind of make $1 in passive income, you're going to be able to make a shit ton more, because you don't have to trade your time to make that money. So that's one thing that everyone needs to kind of go into. So don't necessarily worry about how much you get paid. Ask yourself, what did I have to do to get that $1? And then if you made that $1 without doing anything, you can do a lot more things that can make you more money. Or you can scale whatever it was that got you that $1, and it becomes a lot more easier to scale because you freed up your time. Keep in mind, time is more valuable than money. So if you were somebody who's making 100 grand a year, but if you're having to trade your time to do that, if you have to work 24/7 to do that, you have no time to build on that 100K. But if you're somebody who makes 50 grand passively, then you have hours and hours throughout the week to go ahead and work on your next goal, which gets you the Lamborghini. So let me know what you guys thought about this video. This one's a little bit different compared to the others. And I did this video based off somebody's question. So if you have a question, feel free to ask away. And I'll see you all for the next one.